One-foot-flipper.
Hi, Paige here, the One-Foot Flipper. I'm filming my introduction again because my mother, who has only called me twice this week, both times has done it while I'm filming introductions. Thanks, Mom. I know you're not watching. My mom only watches the show if I post it on Facebook. Then she'll watch, otherwise she doesn't. It's been a full week of having a normal schedule. Been going out to the bins regularly, buying stuff and listing stuff like a normal reseller because I wasn't living the normal reseller life before. The whole time on my channel I was 80% subsisting on death pile from huge buys that I did before the channel started. But that stuff's all listed now. My sales are still in the toilet, but they're ticking up. It takes a long time to turn a bad store around. Not that I think my store is so bad, but my store is at this point full of a bunch of lesser items and very long tail items, but now I'm putting better stuff in it on a daily basis. Earlier this week, was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. ADH Dave had said he was going to have a high-end live plush auction. It was his second one. Now, I know from experience Dave's lives can be a great sourcing opportunity because he seems to like buying way more than listing. And he'll put eBay items on Whatnot and Dibdit lives. You know, things that should be on eBay, things that'll sell for $30, $40, $50. He'll put those on live auction or sell them in his own garage sale for $1. So I bought some plush at Dave's auction, but it didn't work out like I was hoping it would.
I've made a huge mistake.
I only ended up spending a little less than $100, and I got way less than I intended, and I'm not even sure I can make a profit. See, I planned on loading up heavy. I got a couple, like the first two things in the auction, I got. But after that, everybody had finished filtering in, and there were 3 people in that live auction who seemed to want to buy every single item, regardless of the value. They kept bidding things above eBay prices, not just eBay sale prices, but eBay shipped prices. However, they did seem to have a maximum they would bid, so the only opportunities were really in the really expensive items, or the few items that didn't seem to interest any of those people. So we'll look at it in a future video and see how much money I lose on it. So I don't normally pick up pre-recorded tapes or whatever, although if I end up with them I sell them as blanks. But when I was at the bins last time, I found all of these in the same bin. These are all very high quality tapes like Sony's and Maxell's and everything, and they are all recorded with like electronic and punk and new wave type of stuff. I'm going to sell this lot as blanks, but I'm going to price it up pretty high because I bet people are going to probably buy it based on what's written on the tapes. And of course, you don't want to verify that's written on the tapes, then you know you're selling a bootleg. I have no idea if what's written on the tapes matches up to what's in the tapes. Alright, I didn't think I was going to manage to pack anything tonight because I really wore myself out messing with my truck. You see, apparently the dog had over time jumped on my truck a bunch. It's under my back carport and took most of the car cover off of it. But every time I looked out the back door, it looked like it was on it because the window right outside where I could see outside the back door was still covered. So the open roof of the thing has been open for Lord knows how long. Luckily it can't rain into it, but oh boy, there's a bunch of dust and spiderwebs in there now. I managed to get the roof on the thing with the help of my daughter temporarily, tied it on with a rope, and get the car cover back on. The reason I'm talking about that though is because come spring, I'm going to start doing a thing where I'm going to start parting out my first midlife crisis car, which I bought at age 30, which is my 84 Mercedes convertible. It's not worth fixing up anymore at this point. It's been sitting for 5 years. It really only needed minor repairs, but it was kind of a beater. I got my good luck out of it. I daily drove it for a decade on almost no repairs. Not even sure what mileage it has on it because the odometer stopped about 2 months after I bought it at 116. But every part of that car is like it's made out of solid gold. So I'm going to get that car, put it behind, get that car and start selling the pieces off of it and shovel all that money into my current midlife crisis car, which is this truck right here. This truck right here right now needs a real mechanic to look at it because I had trouble on my carburetor replacement and couldn't get the mounting plate bolted all the way down. And I didn't want to ask for help because I didn't want to, and none of my friends are good at that sort of thing. But somebody's good at buying a Flames of War World War II, I think this is World War II, model for $21.51. I got this phone for $1 at a garage sale over the weekend. It's a Bell Systems push-button phone, sold for $40. I also bought a matching white one at the same time. Hopefully that sells as well, because I did make a big mistake at that sale. Kind of wore myself out, and I sat down in a chair for a while and noticed there's a brand new radiator in box. I ended up buying for 50 bucks. I didn't comp it good enough, and apparently people have them for 100 bucks shipped, and not a single one has sold in the last 3 months. So hopefully at least that other phone will sell and get me into the positive on that sale, because Lord knows when that radiator is going to sell. Where did I lose it? People, losing my mind. I sold a replacement card for the 1991 Electronic Dream Phone game for $3.48. I only have one replacement card left. I have never found a game other than that one that the replacement pieces sell for so fast and so easily. This is a bag of Warhammer Astra Militarum Cadian figures. There's 24 of them in here. Sold for $67.47 to a repeat buyer. Not a viewer, just somebody who buys Warhammer stuff for me. A vintage Brunswick bowling bag for $22.49. This has been in the store less than a week. I think I had it at $25 and it sold on a 10% off offer. Sold a magic card. That's upstairs. Not even sure why I mentioned it. This is a collectible little ceramic house. It sold for $6.55. Not pretty boring. USS Arizona hat, $5.14. I would have gotten this in one hat lot from somebody or another, which means I could have anywhere between $1 and $3 in this, because $3 is the most I've ever paid for a hat lot. Usually it's much closer to $1. Totally Sweet hamster plush, sold for $4.71 plus shipping. That is a Julie leftover item. Oh, the Dream Phone card is over there on the packing desk. All right, that's all I've got for this segment, but I'm sure there'll be more segments in this video. Stay tuned. So, does eBay, as a company, care about you, the seller? You want the too long didn't read version? No, they don't. See, in my earlier years, I used to wonder why eBay always seemed to favor the buyers over the sellers. After all, the sellers were the ones who paid the money to eBay. They were eBay's customers. But eventually I realized that eBay has far more sellers than they need. They don't need most of us. It's easy to see when you try to comp nearly anything. Oh, look, let's look this thing up. 571 listed, 31 sold. All the average seller does to eBay is spread those profits among everyone even thinner. Luckily for me and most of you viewing, most eBay sellers are absolutely terrible at eBay. They don't try to get any better. They guess all their prices. They never lower their prices on anything. They never change anything. They have a sell-through rate measured in years, and they only get sales on accident. So when it comes down to any dispute between a buyer and the seller, eBay is overwhelmingly likely to favor the buyer because the buyer matters to them. If that seller never returns as a result of eBay's decision, they don't care. They don't lose anything. Not only does other sellers already have all the same items that seller had, there are 50 more bad sellers waiting in line behind him going to sign up tomorrow. However, if the buyer never returns, then that's a complete unknown amount of future revenue lost that have possibly went on for decades. Let's say Karen, the difficult customer, spends $1,000 a year on eBay, but she loses some dispute and she never comes back. Now, if that happens, eBay's going to lose $200 a year in profit or revenue, whatever you want to call that, off her for the next 30 years. That's the final value fees and me picking a number out of my butt for promoted listing fees. However, let's say the dispute was between Karen and Timmy the seller. Timmy sells $100,000 a year. But if Timmy never comes back, eBay doesn't care. Other sellers have the same items as Timmy. eBay's going to end up with the same amount of revenue without Timmy even being on the website. They don't need him. Even if Timmy owns some niche, he was the #1 fuggler seller on eBay, doesn't matter. Holes in markets will get filled. Someone else is going to come along and fill that hole. eBay would actually have to lose a significant percentage of its sellers before the number of sales on the website actually went down because of it. How many? I don't know. I'm not a data scientist. I don't have a master's degree in business. What I've got is a high school diploma and a handful of credits from a defunct unaccredited business school. Shout out Sanford Brown. So figuring that out is, well, that's a little bit beyond me. Okay, so in a recent video, I asked if you all wanted to see haul videos. The overwhelming response was yes. Nobody said no. So let's look at what I got at Goodwill Binge yesterday. I spent approximately $70.60 on these items, and they're already listed, so I can tell you what I've got them listed for. All right, first is this Shock T mat. It's like an acupuncture mat. These are all spiky, and this side is soft. Got this up at $60. They're $75 new. This one is used, so obviously cheaper. This is a Nolan Arenado growth chart on fabric. I've found, strangely enough, I found this same item 2 separate times. I've got that up at $20. I've noticed this sells at quite different prices depending on how you titled it. So I titled it at a price point where it'll likely sell at $20, and it's promoted. This is a fancy cheese slicer. It should have a thing on here that slides. It's not there. This is a $25 item. The slidey thing is there. I listed it for $10 because I didn't know it was supposed to have a slidey thing, and I've already got it, so I might as well try. I've got 3 different tanks to 2 types of Bissell little green clean machines. They're listed at $10, $12, and $15 respectively. The prices differ based on the exact model and which tank it is. Green tanks are worth more than clear tanks are, even though they are the exact same tank. That's because the Pro Heat model of that came with green tanks, but none of the aftermarket replacement tanks are green, unless some people want their unit to match. This is a Matchbox Top Gun holder. It pops out, Top Gun Maverick. The buyer never placed the Top Gun stickers on it. That is extremely common because this looks like a nice realistic aircraft carrier. But if you put the Top Gun stickers on it, it says Top Gun right here and some other inappropriate things right here. So a lot of them for sale didn't have that. And this is up at $20. Vintage bowling bag. The handles look like Brunswick, but there is no branding on it. This one is in really good shape. I've got this up at $30 because this most recently sold at auction for $18 with only 1 bid. So I'm trying for a little more. I saw a lot of vintage bowling bags. You tend to get between $20 and $40 each for them. I've got a phone here. It is a Bell South phone, model 473. This phone in black is a mistake. Phones like this are all over the map in what they sell for and their sell-through rate. This phone only sells for $10 and it has a slow sell-through rate, so it was a mistake. I didn't look it up when I got it. I just put it in the cart because normally I do okay with phones like this. Still going to bring me a profit, just not the profit I wanted. A pair of George men's shoes, size 13, dress shoes in near new condition. Unfortunately, these aren't worth as much as I thought. They're only going to sell for $11. And due to their weight, I've got almost $5 in them. At least I'll get something. They just looked much fancier than $10 shoes to me when I saw them. This is a giant birthday banner. It says Bippy. It's like 7 feet wide and 5 feet tall. I had never heard of the Blippi character before, but as I was taking pictures of it, the Reseller Locker Room podcast started talking about Blippi. Still don't know who Blippi is, but apparently the person who plays them poops on people. I don't know all the details, so don't ask. Here are 2 art prints taken by a photographer who was famous back in the 70s, Ray Hartle, and these would have come from IKEA. I took these out of the frames at the bin so I could just buy the posters. I've got them up together at $20. Or they're more appropriately prints, not posters. They're not on paper. These are not on thin paper. They're on something thick. Right, picked up this Polaroid camera with case that got this listed at $18. It's a Shark, Matchbox, Hot Wheels character carrier, but it's not either one of those brands. Whole $10. I thought this was much better when I picked it up. Alright, a Boyd's Bear Barrington collection in USA outfit with overalls. I could not find a single picture of this on the internet, not another comp on eBay for it, nothing on Google, nothing on this particular guy. So I did list him at $20, which seems to be the high end at what these Boyd's Bears at this size. Plus he's got to stay on sale for, since somebody doesn't have him. A very nice Lego Batman backpack with lenticular hologram on the back in like new condition. Have this up at $20. Piece of Tupperware, $10. A beautiful Western Electric rotary dial telephone. Doesn't really have a flaw on it, just a little bit of rotary wear there, and I've got this up at $35. Those phones really go up and down based on condition and color and everything else. High quality surge protector, $12. Not a huge profit on those since it weighs several pounds, but it is a sure thing. King Cobra golf club head cover, $8. I pretty much blindly buy all golf club head covers because they always sell eventually, and they usually sell for $6 to $10, and it's a 1 to 2 picture proposition to list them, and they can go in a poly bag. This is super long tail, but I thought it was so cool that I couldn't let it go. It is a mug, a Meredith mug in the Megadeth font. I just thought this was too cool to throw away. I'm going to probably actually put this in my long tail card store because it can take a long time before somebody finds the right Meredith to buy this for. But I did put it at $25 because it's not like we have any other choices. And a lot of 8 decks for the Keyforge game. Keyforge was a collectible card game about 5 or 6 years ago that was real big at the time, made by the original maker of Magic the Gathering. I've got this up at $20. Alright, that was one whole binge trip. That got me $404 worth of listings. I know from a lot of math that I'm gonna get overall 75% of my listed price. That's including offers, price drops, the things that never sell that come out of the store, whatever else. And then there's eBay fees. So I'm expecting to get $263.61 out of the stuff. And I paid $70, so my profit should be $193 on this stuff, which $20 an hour is my goal. And this is going to definitely be less than 10 full hours between acquiring, listing, packing, and shipping. In fact, I make money on shipping on almost every item I sell, and I did not account for that anywhere in the formula. I often make $2 to $3 per item on shipping, so I can expect to make closer to $25+ an hour on this stuff. All right, on to the next segment. Hey, thanks for making it this far. I should be on the Reseller Locker Room podcast next month. And in future videos, you should look forward to seeing how I do with Dave's Plush, how much money I lose on that. And there will be an update video on the guy who was selling Hot Wheels for $225 shipped. And I'd like to do some more focused topic videos in the future as well, so put your suggestions down in the comments. And hey, why not hit that subscribe button up there? I'm mostly in it for the subs. It's not like I'm ever going to go rock climbing again, so just do me a favor and hit that button. Thanks, and I hope to see you again soon.
See, that's 1 Foot Flipper's nonsense video.